Man, it's cool to be in this part of the service, because I'm always in that part of the service. So it's great to be here with you guys. Like Anthony said, my name is Dano. I, along with my wife Sharon, direct the prayer room here. It is a joy. It's a true joy to direct the prayer room. We also just had a baby. We have a 4-month-old baby. He is amazing. We just hit the 4-month sleep regression. So if you know, you know, I see the parents in the room are nodding. Yeah, it's real. It is a miracle I'm awake right now, honestly. And that miracle is named Sharon because she took the baby so that I could be here. This is my 4th service this weekend sharing, so come on, let's do this. Amen. So we have a meeting once a month for our prayer room team. We meet on Saturday, the first Saturday of the month, and obviously the prayer room staff is there to receive. But also anyone who likes the prayer room or who's interested in the prayer room or who serves in the prayer room also is welcome to that meeting, and they come too. And just recently in this meeting, we have begun to look at Psalms 84. And man, this psalm is powerful. It is crazy. I hear prayer room people are in the room. They're like, yep. It's in every service it's been like that. And So, and I think as a community, I think it's not just for the prayer room. I think it's for our community as a whole. And that includes us in this service, right? And so, yeah, there's something really special as it relates to the prayer room and our community in this psalm. And, we've had, I think, 2 meetings on this psalm so far, and they have been crazy. I mean, just so deep, so profound, powerful. It's been really, really remarkable. And so I just want to say, if you're at all interested in Psalms 84, if you're at all interested in the prayer room, or if you like what I share today, I want you to know that you are welcome to that meeting. More than welcome to join us. We usually post on social media like a story to remind people when it's going to be, but it's usually the first Saturday of the month in the morning. Okay, so you're welcome there. Okay, so we're gonna talk about Psalms 84. If you have a Bible with you, respect. If you have a physical Bible, respect. So turn to Psalms 84 if you have it in front of you. I'm gonna be talking about the terminology in this verse. So it'll be great if you have it open in front of you. But I'm first gonna just read you these first 2 verses, and I want to ask for you to close your eyes, to not talk to the person next to you or look at me, and I want you to really pay attention to these words. So I'm going to read you these verses, and just listen. Let these words hit your heart. How lovely is your dwelling place, Lord Almighty. My soul yearns, even faints, for the courts of the Lord. My heart and my flesh cry out for the living God. Amen. It's powerful, right? Anybody feel anything when I read that? It's a powerful verse, right? This whole psalm is super, super powerful. It's beautiful. I really recommend, if you have time, that you read it for yourself. But I'm just going to stay on these 2 verses. And so let's talk about it. Let's talk about the dwelling place. What is the dwelling place of God? Your first thought might be heaven. And that's right. Yes, God, that is the dwelling place of God. But this psalm seems to be referring to a physical place on the earth. And something that we see in Scripture is even though God is omnipresent, He is everywhere, there are also places on the earth where His presence seems to be more present, more tangible, almost like he is dwelling or resting in a place, right? And I think of like the Garden of Eden, where God walked with man, right? Or the tabernacles, right? Moses' tabernacle, David's tabernacle. These are places, physical places on the earth where the presence of God was just there, right? And even actually like scattered through Paul's writing, you can see that he even considers the church to be like a dwelling place where the presence of God is. And so what we usually call this is the manifest presence, right? It's the presence of God, but it's made manifest with us in this place, right? And what's interesting about this psalm is, in verse 3, it starts talking about an altar. And what is an altar? Generally, in the Old Testament, an altar was like a space specifically designated to give the Lord an offering. And so what they would do is they would prepare this offering, and they would put it on the altar, and they would, burn the offering. And as the offering is burning, this fragrance would rise from the altar, and it would please the Lord. And there's a whole lot of theology behind that. I'm not going to explain all that, but I just want you to have that context, that understanding of what the altar is. So what does this mean for us? Well, I want to say this. This room that you're in right now is the dwelling place of God. We are in the dwelling place of God. Think about this, right? Every weekend, we gather here. Saturday nights, there's a service. Sundays, there's 2 services in the morning. There's one, obviously, right now. We gather here on the weekends, and what happens? We worship, right? We have like real moments with the Lord. People actually have like encounters with Jesus. People come to these services and they leave changed. Like they get transformed in these services. Like I've seen it. So many people have told me straight up to me, like, dude, that service like changed me. Like that was profound. That was powerful. Like people come here, they walk in and they don't know Jesus and they leave having accepted him. That's amazing. Okay, so something's happening here, right? The presence of God is doing something here. He is here, right? And it's crazy to see that this is his dwelling place every weekend. But I love this. It's not just on the weekends. Actually, in this very room, Monday to Friday, there are teams that are on this stage that are using this room the same as an altar. They're offering something to God. They're singing songs. They're praying prayers to God in this room, on this stage. And for no other reason than just to bless him, just to move him, just to love him, just to give him an offering. They're praying the prayers that he cares about. They're singing songs that move his heart. This is crazy. This room is an altar 7 days a week. That's crazy. Every day of the week, this room is functioning as an altar for the Lord. And so I want to say this to you. Maybe you might be in the room and you're new to houses. So this might feel new to you, and that's great. That's okay. I'm glad you're here, actually, if that's the case. And also, you've been at houses for a very long time, maybe your whole life. And that's okay too. I feel like this is going to make sense to you. And what I want to say is this kind of value for the presence of God, for his dwelling place, this kind of care for prayer, for his presence that we see in this room is fundamental to Houses of Light. Like, this is a key part of who we are as a church. It's a key part of our values. It's a key part of our culture, right? hosting his presence, prayer and worship, right? This is like a key part of who we are. This church is a house of prayer. Jesus said, my house will be a house of prayer. That is this house. This house carries prayer. You cannot tell the story of Houses of Light without telling the story of the prayer room. Like they are just wrapped up together. The prayer room, the story of the prayer room in this house, it's one with the story of Houses of Light. And honestly, part of this value that we have as a community is because of our head pastor, right? Pastor Netz, who you guys have heard him share here. He is a man of prayer. Let me tell you, he is a man of prayer. In secret, in public, he is a man of prayer. He is devoted to the presence of God, to seeking him, to loving him, to giving sweet offerings to him. You may not know this. He has like 4 sets in the prayer room a week at 6 a.m. on this stage. Like 2-hour-long sets. He's like here. And you know what? You come to his sets, he's like crying. He's just like, it's like his therapy. It's like his favorite thing. So it's amazing. It starts with him. He has this value, but it doesn't end with him, right? If you look at the leaders in this church, you see that too. There's a value for the presence of God, a value for prayer, right? And it's not just that, even all of us, right? All of the members of this church, like we all carry this value for hosting his presence, for caring for his dwelling place, this heart for prayer, right? And I want to tell you that this is kind of crazy. Like, this is kind of wild that we have this, because most churches don't. You know, they talk about the presence, or they talk about prayer, they do worship, but it's not the way we do it. They don't talk about it the way we talk about it. They don't do it the way we do it. And I'm not knocking on other churches. My point is there's something special here. There's something special that God has deposited in this community. This value for his presence, for his dwelling place, for prayer and for worship. And this is something special. I think that we don't realize it because we're already used to it. Like, it's like normal for us. Those of us who have been here for a while, we're like, it's like second nature. You're used to that. And some of us who have not been here for a while, you may just see that and not notice it and just kind of accept it as like the norm, right? But it's actually crazy. I was at a wedding once, and I was sitting at a table next to a pastor. And I started talking to this pastor, and he starts telling me, dude, this house of prayer thing is hard. This prayer room thing is really hard. And he starts explaining to me, and he starts saying, yeah, it's hard to sustain a prayer room financially. There's always problems with security. It's really hard to have like staff and teams who are committed to the prayer room. And he said something to me like, I've seen churches open and close prayer rooms. It's hard. It's really hard. And we have had a prayer room since 2009, functioning without stopping. This is crazy. Like, that's almost 16 years. In September, it's 16 years. This is amazing. Like, this is amazing. We have a functioning dwelling place. And so I believe that as a community that is committed to this value for his presence, this culture of loving him radically, praying his prayers, hosting his presence, I believe there are 2 key things that we really need in order to do and sustain that culture, that value for hosting his presence. And so those 2 things are my 2 points that I have today. Just 2 points. So it's easy, super easy to remember. Just 2 points. And I'm going to tell you what they are. The first is a heart posture, a specific heart posture. And the second is a specific expression And I'm going to explain what those are. And this is where it's great if you have your Bible open. I'm going to look at verse 2. I'm going to do verse 1 and 2, but for now, verse 2. It says, "My soul yearns for the courts of the Lord." That's a heart posture. A heart posture of yearning for his courts. And then it says, "My heart and flesh cry out." That's an expression. Okay, so we have a heart posture of yearning for his courts and an expression of crying out for the living God. And these are the 2 points that I think we must have as a community. It is so important that we have these 2 things. And I'm going to explain them, and we're going to talk about them. So let's look at the heart posture. Let's look at some of the language that's being used in these first 2 verses. It says, "How lovely is your dwelling place." And lovely, that word, it means pleasing, right? Beautiful, delightful. And actually, if you look at the Hebrew, it's also used for the word beloved or beloved. And so it's not just nice. It's not how nice is your dwelling place. It is how beloved is your dwelling place. Like, your dwelling place is loved. Okay? And then it says, "My soul yearns." And why does it use the word soul? Well, soul is like saying the deepest parts of me, right? Like the deepest, most profound parts of me. And it says it does what? It yearns. And that yearning is like this desperate need. Actually, this word yearn is kind of crazy. If you look at the Hebrew, it means to go white. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen somebody who is like malnourished or like anemic. They haven't eaten enough and their skin goes pale. That's literally what this word means. It's like to go pale. And then it says, it doesn't just say that. It doesn't stop there. "My soul yearns and even faints," meaning like, if I don't get there, I'm not going to make it. And so this is intense language. This is not casual language. This is not, "I really like to be in the dwelling place." This is like, if I'm not there, I will not survive. If I'm not there, I am malnourished. That's crazy. And so the point here is that the language is showing us that this is a deep, desperate desire for the dwelling place of God. And like I said, as a prayer room, we've been on this psalm for a couple months. And even before that, I've been in this psalm myself. And so it's been months that I have been reading and praying through this psalm. And it's crazy to me that this still happens. But I open up to this psalm and I start to read or pray it. And so often, I do not get past verse 2. Because I get hit with conviction that I do not feel like this. Every day that I come into the prayer room, it does not happen that I walk in and I go, "Wow, how lovely is your dwelling place." Like, that's not the first thing that goes through my mind. But here's the thing. I have this conviction that if we are a community that is committed, devoted to hosting his presence in the dwelling place of the Lord, this is how we should feel. This is how we should feel. And so, and the reason I'm sharing this is I believe this is something that God is actually doing. I think he is birthing this yearning for his dwelling place. And I think he's doing it in our prayer room, like with our staff, with our teams. But I don't think it stops there. I think it's for all of us. I think it's for all of this community. I think God is beginning to author in us a yearning for his dwelling place, like a real yearning for the dwelling place of God. And you know what? I think the way it will look when he's done is that you come into this room and your heart is full. Like your heart is like burning. Like you are ecstatic to be here. Like I'm just excited to be here another day. And I don't know if you guys remember when Luke Holter came here in April. Who was here when Luke Holter was here? He was like this prophetic guy. He was very funny. Okay. Do you guys remember he called me up? Okay, so he gave me this word, which was crazy. Some of the things he said were things that I had not told anyone, that I just was talking to the Lord about in secret. So pretty remarkable how clearly and accurately he heard the Lord. And here's the thing, I don't know him. He actually asked Ilse what my name was. Like, I've talked to him once. I said hi to him once, like years ago. I don't think he knows me at all. He doesn't know I direct the prayer room. He doesn't know I serve in the prayer room. And he gives me this word about prayer. I'm going to read just one part he said. He's talking about the Lord. He said, I've called you to restore the altars that were damaged. You've been called to help restore the prayer movement. You've been called to help restore the altar that's been damaged by all the stuff that went on. The Lord is passing a torch to you because he can trust you with it. And then he said, I've called you to remind the church of being a house of prayer. That's crazy. That is crazy. And one part of this that he said really almost like ate at me, like it stuck in my mind. And I was like wondering about it and asking the Lord about it and thinking about it. And it was this, it's what does he mean that the altar is damaged? Why do we have to restore the altar? Like, to me, I'm going, it's been almost 16 years. The prayer room is functioning. The teams are worshiping. People are receiving. I mean, what's broken? Right? And then my mind immediately goes like, okay, should we open more sets? Do we need more singers and musicians? Which, by the way, we do need more singers and musicians. So if you're a singer or musician, you can audition for the prayer room. You can ask me about it. But I'm stuck on this. Like, why is he saying the altar's damaged? And I didn't understand until we started to look at this psalm. And I think I'm starting now to understand what he means when he says the altar is damaged. And it's this. For seasons in the past, this community and this prayer room has set its eyes on various different goals. And those goals were good. Those were beautiful goals. Like one season, we were like, we want to build a 24/7 house of prayer, a 24/7 prayer room. That's awesome. Like, that's amazing. And there was another season where we were like, we want to be a regional house of prayer. Like, people know in the region that this is the prayer room of this region. And these were great goals. I think this was so good. We were being obedient to what we felt the Lord was doing. But I think that God is changing that. I think that God is shifting the prayer room now to be what he has dreamt the prayer room to be. And it's this, that our goal would be him. Just him. Like, just him. Him in this room. That's it. Not building X, Y, and Z, not becoming X, Y, and Z. If that stuff happens, amen. If that stuff doesn't happen, amen. As long as he is here, he is our goal. He is our priority. He is the priority. And so I think that this is the key to having this heart posture of yearning for his dwelling place. When we make the prayer room about him, it unlocks something in our heart, a yearning for his dwelling place. And it's like, have you ever thought about this? Why is the dwelling place lovely? It says, how lovely is your dwelling place? Why? Why is it lovely? Is it because it's like a nice space? There's a nice big screen? Is it because there's a good sound system and screens? And no, what makes the dwelling place lovely is that he is there. The reason it's lovely is that it's his dwelling place. And so I think that as we begin to see the prayer room as his dwelling place, something that is for him, that enables us to yearn for his dwelling place because it stops being about other things. And it's funny, but even us as individuals, we can make the prayer room about other things. And honestly, we do. I've done it. I see people do it. I mean, I don't know, but just from talking to people, sometimes you kind of get an idea. And it's like some people come to the prayer room because they just like having a nice space to read their Bible, or they really like a specific set that happens at a specific time, so they come for that set, or their friends are here. And it's like, if that is why you come to the prayer room, you will eventually lose the value of the prayer room. Because friends will come and go. Sets will start and stop. Your schedule is going to change. But he will not. Hello? Okay. That scared me. If he is the purpose that you come to the prayer room, you will not lose the value for his dwelling place. Does that make sense? And so this is why it's so important that we even as individuals or members of this community, that we understand that the dwelling place is for him. It's about him. It's unto him. It's his, right? Okay, have you ever read a verse in the Bible and then you're like, ouch? Yeah, right? Okay, we're going to read one right now, so buckle up. Later in this psalm, verse 10, the psalmist says this: "Better is one day in your courts than 1,000 elsewhere." That is crazy. That is crazy. Better is one day in your courts than 1,000 elsewhere. I don't think he just wrote that. I don't think he casually just wrote that. I think he means that. 1,000 days is almost 3 years. And then here's the scary question. What would it take for the prayer room to be a place that you would give up 1,000 days for? That's crazy. That's crazy. And what's scarier is if we answered that question honestly, the answer may not be good. Okay, I would give up 1,000 days to be there if I knew my family was always going to be there with me. Or maybe I'd give up 1,000 days to be there if I had a lot of money. Or maybe I'd give up 1,000 days to be there if I knew I was going to live a long life. Maybe I'd give up 1,000 days to be there if I knew my best friend would always go with me. And it's like, have we made the prayer room about something else other than him? There's this guy, Seth Yates. He's a guitarist. He's written some of the songs that we do here. He's served in and directed various important prayer rooms throughout the country. Right now, he's directing a very important prayer room in Texas. And he tells this story. I love this story, where he's on a missions trip. He said he's like young. I think he said he was like 19, and he's like in Fiji. And he's there with a friend, and they're talking to this guy, and this guy goes, "Hey, you guys want to go to night church?" And he's like, "Night church?" And they're looking at each other like, "What's night church?" But they're like, "Yeah, let's go. Let's do it." So they just get in this guy's truck, and they just start like driving through the night. And he says they just start driving, and then they're like driving, and they're still driving, and they're still driving. And he's like, and time is just going on, and he's like, "How far is this church?" And then he says that eventually they get to this point where they look at each other and they go like, did we just get kidnapped? They're like, we may have just gotten kidnapped. But no, they finally get to this church that's very far that they, for some reason, are going to in the middle of the night. And this guy takes them down into this dark, small room. And he said the room was like a cinder block room. I love missions. It's the best. They go into this cinder block room, and he says the only light in the room is this small, hanging, dirty, old light bulb. That's the light, the one light in the room. And he says there's this kid in the front of the room with a guitar. And this guitar is, it's rough. He said it's got like 5 strings. It's super out of tune. It's not looking good. It's looking pretty bad. But then he says this. They start the service, and this kid starts playing the guitar so loud that you can't hear that it's out of tune. And he starts worshiping so aggressively that Seth says it marked his life forever. And this, I'm going to quote him. This is what he says. "If we think we're doing anything better than that kid, we missed it." We could say, well, we have 100 speakers and they have a light bulb. We missed it. He says, this kid is young and out of tune, but he's hungry and heaven is coming. Come on. Come on. We cannot make it about the speakers and the light bulbs and the whatever, the parking and the AC and the where are my friends and the, it's not about that stuff. We have to be a people that are hungry for the Lord. We have to be the ones who yearn for him, who yearn for his dwelling place. We have to be the ones who are unsatisfied if heaven doesn't come. That has to be us. That has to be you. And if we yearn, if we're hungry, heaven comes. We don't need all this stuff. This kid's doing it. We can do it. And so, sometimes people ask me, hey, what's the vision for the prayer room? What's the vision for this next trimester for the prayer room? What are we doing? And I'm like, the vision is Jesus. That's it. It's Jesus in this room. That's it. If I make it about anything else, I miss the point. It's got to be about him. It's got to be about Jesus. It's got to be unto Jesus, for Jesus, everything about Jesus. And so Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., this room is all about Jesus. That is the vision of the prayer room. And as a community, in order to sustain something like that, we have to be ones who have a heart posture that yearns for the dwelling place of God. Okay, I spent a long time on the heart posture, so let's go to the expression. So when we have this pure heart posture of yearning, what happens is it produces a pure expression. Makes sense, right? And so we can't just have this heart posture. It can't just be something we feel or something we cultivate in our heart. It also has to turn into something we do, an expression. Okay, and so let's look again at verse 2. The second half, it says, "My heart and my flesh cry out for the living God." My heart and my flesh. What does that mean? My heart and my flesh is kind of like saying my entire being, right? You have my heart, which is like the inner parts of me, and then you have my flesh, which is like the outer parts of me, right? Like my physical body. So my physical body cries out, but it's not just that. My heart also cries out. And my heart, my inner parts, it's like my mind, my emotions, my thoughts, my will. Those parts of me cry out too. And what does that word mean, cry out? I don't think that it's like asking. Like, I don't think it's my heart and flesh ask. Right? It's not that. It's like a shout. It's like a scream. I would guess that is kind of ugly. Like it doesn't look good, probably, to shout, to scream, to cry out like that. But that's what it says. And get this, in the Hebrew, this word is also used for the word sing. That's an expression. And so, what does this show us? This shows us an expression that is not passive and full of heart. And this is what our expression should look like. Now, I'm not saying every time you come to the prayer room, you got to like scream or something. Obviously, that's not the point, right? The point is that when we sing a song or pray a prayer, we don't just sing a song or pray a prayer. We do it with our whole being, our heart, our flesh, our mind. We engage all of ourselves. Guess what? Only you can do that. Somebody can encourage you. Someone can motivate you. They can stop halfway through the worship set and say something that makes you feel more encouraged to sing. And that part's great, but only you get to decide, am I gonna invest my heart? Am I gonna bring my heart in this song, in this prayer, like an offering? Am I gonna offer my heart? Earlier I was talking about the altar, right? Where they would come, they would bring an offering, and the fragrance would rise, and it would please the Lord. It would be funny in the Old Testament if somebody had this heart of like, I yearn for you, God, and then they come to the altar and they don't bring an offering. That would be kind of weird, right? But we kind of do that sometimes. Like we come to the altar and we don't actually bring him an offering. Like we just like the songs, they're fun, we sing. We listen to the preaching, we pray along with the prayers. But what would it look like if instead you brought him your heart? You brought him an offering to the altar. And this is something I've been telling our prayer room team. I'm like, guys, we have got this. I want this phrase to be like seared in your mind. I tell them that, and I'm going to keep telling them. I'm determined. We're going to know this phrase. Always bring an offering to the altar. Don't come without an offering. You got to bring one. Okay, and what does that look like? Like, let's just say you're coming to the prayer room on a Wednesday night, right? You want to come, or you're free Tuesday morning and you want to come to the prayer room, and your plan is like, I'm going to read the Bible. I got my Bible reading for today. Maybe I'm reading a book. I'll do a little bit of that. And I have some homework. So I'm going to do my homework, and it's going to be great. And that is great. I love that. I do that all the time. Please do that. But also bring him an offering. Like, don't just come and do that. Bring him an offering. And what does that look like? If there's a team on stage and they're singing a song to the Lord, sing with them. Just worship. Grab a flag and just start worshiping. Maybe there isn't even a team. Some nights we don't have a team. Some nights there's just a stream playing, there's some music playing. If that's okay, you can still bring an offering. That should not hinder your offering. And maybe the team on stage is praying about something. Just take 10 minutes and pray with them. Maybe you don't even leave your chair. That's great. But just give him an offering. It's funny, we talk about enjoying worship and enjoying prayer sometimes, and it's good. We want prayer and worship to be enjoyable. It should be, right? But what makes it enjoyable is not that we're trying to enjoy it. What makes it enjoyable is when we make it about him, right? And so if we make worship or prayer about this makes me feel good, we miss the point, right? It's not about that. And, I love it. If you come to the prayer room or you come to a church service and you have a moment with the Lord and you receive, that's precious. That is so good. We need that. We all need to receive, right? That's important. But I don't just come to receive, right? I also come to give him something. I come to give him an offering. The altar isn't actually to bless me. It's to bless him. And, I love it. When I lead worship, almost every time I feel like I receive something. I get filled with peace, or I get filled with joy, or so many times I'm on stage and I feel like I hear the Lord, and I've walked off stage crying so many times, just from the joy of whatever, or, you guys have probably seen, even on stage I'm crying and I got an ugly cry face, and it's great. It's good. I love it. I love to receive. But that's not why I come on stage. That's not why I lead worship. It's not so that I get to receive something. It's just because I want to bless him. He deserves a blessing. He's good. He's worthy. And so some of you guys may know we have a ministry night here on Thursday nights. How many of you guys know that? Oh, awesome. Guys, we have a ministry night here on Thursday nights. It is so, so good. It's kind of like a prayer room set for the whole church. The church, this room just fills up, and we just go after the presence of God for an hour and a half. It's powerful. It's the best. And it's funny, though, sometimes I hear people say things like, ministry night is just not really for me. It's just not really my kind of thing. It's kind of long. This music style just isn't really my thing. And it's true. It's not their thing. It's the Lord's thing. And it's funny when people say that to me, because I'm like, you are a part of a community that is committed to hosting, adoring the Lord, having a dwelling place for him, sustaining an altar that's functioning 7 days a week, but you don't come to ministry night because it's not your thing. That's wild. And here's the thing. If we really were a community that's fully just committed, devoted to hosting his presence, then this prayer room would be full Monday to Friday. Am I wrong? It would, right? And here's the thing. It's great. It's okay. It doesn't matter if the prayer room's full or not. It's okay. The priority is not if this room gets filled up with people or if it's empty. The priority is if he's here. Like, he's the one person that really matters if he's in the room, right? But like, here's the thing, dude. One night, you know, we were just talking about passion, right? You saw the conference that's coming up. We were just announcing it. 1 year after that conference, I came to the prayer room like late at night. I think it was like 9 p.m. I don't know, sometime like that. And I walked into the back of the prayer room, and the prayer room, there was nowhere I could go. It was packed. It was full. And I just started crying because as long as I've been a Christian, I've been serving in prayer rooms that are empty. And like I said, it doesn't matter if the room's empty as long as he's here. But here's the thing. When a prayer room fills up like that, that's when you know a community is gripped with yearning for him and his dwelling place. I think that's something God's doing here. And we're seeing it. There's some sets in the prayer room that it's powerful. It's wild. And so I shouldn't just come to the altar for me or for what I want. I think there's this subtle thing sometimes that I hear in some of the way people talk. I've definitely had thoughts like this. And it's something like, I want God to show up the way I want. Like, I want the presence of God to do what I want. I want breakthrough for me to look how I want. I want encounter with Jesus to look how I want. And it's really not about, okay, don't get mad at me. It's really not about how you feel during worship or prayer, or it's not about if you had fun in worship. I mean, I hope that stuff happens. That's important. But it's not about that. It's about him. The priority is him. The worship is for him. The prayer is for him. It's for him. Okay, I feel like I've hit that nail on the head pretty hard. Okay, so I love this. People ask me sometimes, I don't know if you guys notice this, I tend to do very similar types of songs when I lead worship. Sometimes I just do the same songs. It's a little repetitive. And I get this question a lot, which also one of the people who ask me this a lot is my wife, which is great. And the question is, hey, how come you always do these songs? They're a little slow, they're a little, and she's like, you could do some more upbeat, some more fun songs, And, she is right. Like, I could do those songs. Like, I should do more of those songs. The reason I do that, though, is because I just feel like if I don't at some point get to, like, God, I worship you. You are holy. You are worthy. You are good. Great are you, Lord. Then I miss the mark. Like, and don't hear what I'm not saying. The upbeat songs are worship too. I'm not saying that's not worship. But to me, the heart of worship, the core of it, is like to just worship him. Like, you are good. I worship you, God. And so, like, as a worship leader, I have to get there. And as a community, we have to get there. We have to get to, like, I worship you. I adore you. And that kind of worship is not for us, right? And I bet that kind of worship just moves him, just delights him. And here's the thing. Sometimes your offering is going to cost you. Sometimes your offering is going to cost you. And that's okay. That's good. There's a story in the Gospels of this sinful woman. Jesus is at a house. I'm not going to explain the whole thing. He's at a house with some other people, and this sinful woman comes in, and she starts crying, and she starts she starts to wash his feet with her tears, with her hair. And she has this flask of perfume, and she breaks this perfume, and she pours it on him. And so and it says that perfume is so expensive. I think it's like 3 years worth of wages. 3 years, 1,000 days, crazy. And so, okay, what happens? She brings this offering of her tears, which is precious. Like, that is so valuable. That moves his heart. And then she also brings him this offering of this perfume that is insanely expensive. Like, it is a costly thing. Do you think she was like, should I do this? I don't know. No, dude, she was all in. Like, if you're going to do something like that, you got to be all in. And you know what? Honestly, I would bet that did not look good. Like, that was not a good look. Like, they're just chilling. They're at a table. She just busts in the room. She's like crying. She must be crying a lot because she washes his feet with her tears. There's like hair, and she's like, there's perfume. It's like all mixed together, and like, it did not look good. And Jesus says this thing. He says, truly I tell you, wherever this gospel is preached, they will say what she has done for me. Sometimes it's going to cost you. It's not going to look pretty. It's going to feel not good. And it will move him. It will move him. There's another story in the Gospels. I'm going to wrap up. I know I'm running out of time. There's another story in the Gospels where there's these people. They're coming. You know how we do offering here? You know, you give your offering. So this is the same thing. Jesus is with his disciples, I think, and I always look at Ilse. She can fact check me. Jesus is with his disciples, and they're watching people give their offering, right? And people come and they give these big financial offerings, right? And then there's this lady, and she comes and she gives like the smallest amount, like it's like nothing. And he tells them she gave more than them because she doesn't have anything. And so it's like, if it maybe something costly for you is not that much, but if it's costly to you, he will see that. Maybe the offering you can give is like, I have 20 minutes before work once a month, but I'm going to come to the prayer room and I'm going to worship my heart out for those 20 minutes. Dude, he will see that offering and he will say, she gave everything. Why don't you stand?